morning. This is Ms. Lane from the Math Science Innovation Center with our weekly Webfind. Today's guest is Mr. Carroll Ellis. Carroll, go ahead and say hi to everybody. Thanks for joining us.
Hello, Beth. Thanks for having me this morning.
All right, so yesterday, if you joined us, we did all of our Journey to Mars Engagement Day activities, and this is a follow-up to that, I believe. It's an app that's available in the Google Play and Apple stores.
Yeah, you can download it from either Apple or Google. It would run on the phone, but it's designed primarily for a tablet.
All right.
Yeah.
And so this is called, I know it goes with that last activity we did with building a habitat on Mars. I believe it's called the Mars Community Builder app that you're going to be sharing with us.
That is correct.
All right. So whenever you're ready, we'd love to see what this app has to offer.
Just like we mentioned, you have to download the app. You can see it right here on the screen, Habitat Builder. You go ahead and click on it. Okay, so you have two parts of the app. The first part of the app is pretty much exploration. It allows you to see the different components that make up the habitat, starting off with the actual landing on Mars, your habitat lander, water tanks, fuel tanks. You can see the different things you'll be able to explore. It also has an augmented reality component to the program. So
that sounds exciting.
Yeah, it is. And you can see things in 3D. So before you get started doing the activity, you want to download, and we will have the link on our website, so you can download these images.
Is that with that? I think I saw the link. They're called trigger cards. Is that what those are?
Exactly.
Okay.
And then you will be able to activate the AR component, okay, as you do the tour. So you will see all the parts and components that make up a habitat on Mars. Again, you explore it. There's great information on how to build the different components, how they're used, why the astronauts need them, some of the requirements for life on Mars. All that's there. And then you have to build your own habitat.
All right.
So that's the second part.
Can you show us what some of these look like? So let's do one of the augmented reality ones. So I'll let you pick whichever one you think might be the best, and then we'll take a look at building our own habitat.
Okay, very good. Let's go ahead and start looking at where we're headed, which is Mars, fourth planet from the sun. All right. Now the program does have audio as well. I don't know if you can hear any of that.
I can hear some music and I hear someone talking.
Okay, there it is.
All right, so you have Mars on your table now. That's great.
I have Mars on my table, and you can interact with it. Look at that.
Oh, wow. So I see those polar ice caps up there at the top.
Yeah, let me see if I can stabilize my tablet here on my knee.
That's really neat. So I'm seeing some tabs over on the left. I'm seeing the elevation map, landing sites. So what if you click on those, what does that do?
Well, let's go ahead and start off with the landing sites. So it's showing some of the landing sites of some of the space probes, U.S. space probes that have landed on Mars successfully. You know, way back in the 70s with the Vikings, all the way up to Challenger, Spirit, rovers. Elevation map.
Very nice.
This data was gathered by the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter. That's been there for about 20 years orbiting Mars. It's also thermal maps, and it's a great way to find out what's on the surface and what kind of materials that make up the surface. Dust maps.
Oh, that's really neat.
All right, now if we want to get out of there, we just hit back. Okay.
So now before we go into Build AR, I'm noticing on the left-hand side, it also says trigger cards there. So if I forgot to go to the website and download the trigger cards to print there, if I have the capability to print from my tablet or my phone, could I print them from the app?
Yes, you'll be able to print them from the app, but you have to link your tablet to a printer. Or you can download the PDF.
Okay.
Okay. Well, let's try another let's see, let's do the habitat lander.
So this one I see gives us some basic information.
Yeah, you got some information of what's going on. All right. Once you hit go inside, you are able to have a 360-degree look around.
Oh,
You can look up.
neat.
Well, your escape hatch up there.
There's a lot of detail in there.
Yes, it is. It's the airlock. I'm going to come over to hit Explore AR VR. And I have my image sitting here. So let's come over and bring up our habitat lander.
Neat. So this is a little bit better than just clicking on that close-up picture because now I can kind of look at the top and the sides as I needed to.
Yeah. And you can manipulate it a little, and you can zoom in.
Oh.
You can go inside. And we've already done that. So.
Okay.
All right, let's come back out of this. So it goes on and on like this. You can go to each one of the sections and look at them in augmented reality, as well as looking at the two-dimensional image. So now let's do designing your own habitat. So you want to go back to home. You come down to build AR. All right, now you have two options. You can do a guided build or a freeform build. So I suggest that you start off with the guide build the first time out, and then go back and go do freeform and kind of design and build it the way you want to. Now,
So
by
it's
this
like getting
time,
some practice in before you really build it, like building a model before you build the actual piece.
yeah, by this time you really get you have a good idea of which each of the components of the habitat and how it works and why it's needed. So this brings us back to our imagery. So once you find your correct image, the app will recognize that and tell you where to get started.
I'm seeing the flashing up there, scout for fuel tank locations. And then it's over on your left, do you see that red? It's like pulsing. So pan the camera on your tablet to the left a little bit.
It
So,
also
oh,
tells
risk.
you, yeah, that's a risk. So you want to go up. Let's see, let's try this direction.
So that's not a good spot. I
That's
see
not a
over
good,
something blinking to the right there.
let's go back. 45% risk, that's a little better. Let's come down. 10%.
Oh, wow. So you're really building this in augmented reality. This is neat.
So then you drag it over. There are the tanks.
And I like how the risks are color coded. So if you see red, you want to stay away from that. I see some kind of yellow there. So we still have some small risk. And so you would do this for each piece until you had it all together?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
You find it and drag it in. So you can see our water tanks over to the left.
Yeah. Now you're looking for solar panels.
And
Nice.
there's our solar panels.
This is really neat.
And the app is talking to you the whole time. So it's actually telling you what component to add next.
I'm hearing that voice softly in the background. It's nice to have a guide with you. I know all of our astronauts always have mission control, communicating with them to help and support them in their task.
All right, that's the communications center just went up. So this is the guided build.
All
Okay.
right.
That kind of gives you a sense of how, let me move this out of the way here because I'm hearing myself.
So how is the different if you went to the freeform build? Because I noticed it talking about all of those risks. I'm curious, what's the overall risk of the base once you have all the pieces? Each piece had its individual risk. What is your overall risk for your base?
Okay, well, there's a lot going on Mars, and there's a lot of things that are not going on Mars. Mars has a very thin atmosphere, of course. It's only carbon dioxide. It's only 1/100th of the Earth's atmosphere. So that's a problem. The temperatures are very cold at night, 150, 170 degrees below zero at night. And on a really warm summer day on Mars, it may get up to 50, 60 degrees. All right. So you got micrometeorites coming in. There is no ozone layer on Mars. So a lot of the intense radiation from the sun is coming in. So that's a big issue there. You have dust storms that your habitat has to deal with. Not necessarily the winds, but it's the very, very fine dust particles that could damage equipment. So your habitats have to be able to withstand all of those variables. Okay.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's Mars is not a friendly place, but so you have our astronauts have to be prepared to be able to withstand all those things that could happen. And they explain all of this as part of the app. So it's fun to do. It's engineering. It's good planetary science all rolled into one.
Well, that's great.
Okay, so let's go ahead and try the freeform build.
All right.
All right, so it's telling me to locate the habitat lander image. All right. And so it guides, even here, it still guides you through a little bit. A little different this time around.
Ooh. So I see all the pieces off to the side, and it looks like you just drag them into this area of land and see what happens. So we're not getting those warnings of risk like we did. But I see up in the top left corner, it says efficiency 0%. So it looks like we'll get some idea of those percentages as we go.
All right, so I'm grabbing the habitat lander. And just dropped it in there. Let's bring some water towels in. It'll just kind of give you an idea, and you can kind of play around with it.
And I see your efficiency changing as you drop things. So we're still good. We're at 12% efficient, but we only have 2 pieces in.
All right. Well, we need some power. Let's get some solar panels on there.
All right. Well, this has been really neat. I'm going to keep you from building the entire habitat because I want our audience to be able to use their own imaginations and test that out on their own. So I do want to thank you for joining us. That has been a great share. I know while you were testing those out, I've already got it downloaded on my phone to test out. I don't have a tablet, so hopefully the phone version will still be cool enough. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, and this has been a great addition to all of the activities that we shared yesterday.
Again, Beth, thanks for having me. It's a great app, and this is a great time with Dragon spacecraft making its first mission to the International Space Station. It was exciting. American crews on American spacecraft from American soil back into space again after 9 years. It's exciting. So you can celebrate that by pulling up this Mars Habitat AR app and enjoying yourself and learning at the same time.
Well, thank you again. This is Beth from the Math Science Innovation Center signing off. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Ellis. We look forward to our next weekly Webfind. Tune in again next Thursday. Y'all have a great day. Bye.
All right. Take care. Nice being here.